Dealers who peddle drugs across Dudley have been locked up for almost 30 years. Police have detained a number of people in connection with suspected county lines networks over the last 10 months. Officers have targeted 14 county lines where mobile phones are used to transport and supply drugs from one area to another. The drugs are often stored or moved by children and other vulnerable people coerced by the criminal gangs. 7 defendants have already been convicted of these drug-related crimes in Dudley, receiving jail terms that reached almost 30 years. West Midlands Police said that 14 others have been charged and are waiting for their trials or to be sentenced. Comes as the force launches Operation Target, which will focus on serious and organised crime, including drug dealing, burglary, cybercrime and fraud across the West Midlands. It will see officers working alongside other forces and the regional organised crime unit. Sergeant Rich Galbraith from the Serious Organised Crime Team at Dudley Police said, "County lines drug gangs run highly organised and sometimes sophisticated setups, so we have to be methodical and joined up in our approach to tackling them. We've worked together across different departments and disciplines throughout the force, linking in with the County Lines Task Force, as well as response, traffic and neighbourhood teams. It's been a collective effort and we're hitting these gangs where it hurts, disrupting their trade and taking their drugs out of circulation, and making arrests and putting the perpetrators behind bars." In Dudley, the police have identified new county lines for investigation. Enforcement such as surveillance, as well as stops and searches, had led to convictions and imprisonments for several offenders. Sergeant Galbraith added, "The county line drug dealers care nothing for the destructive effect their actions have on the lives of the people they exploit, nor for the damaging impact on the communities in which they ply their trade. Their only concern is profit, which they chase ruthlessly, no matter the hurt caused to others. But we're equally relentless in our pursuit, and will continue to coordinate our efforts against them. This includes working with members of the public, and we're grateful to them too for the support they provide in helping us identify county line gangs acting in their neighbourhoods. We're determined to bring down these so-called businesses wherever we find them operating." A number of people have been jailed for their involvement in county lines. Ibar Hussain was jailed for 4 years and 6 months after peddling drugs from his home in Washwood Heath, Birmingham, to Stourbridge via the Ace line. He sent out bulk messages to more than 90 people, advertising cocaine and heroin for sale. Zain Hussain also sent bulk text messages advertising Class A drugs for sale. He targeted users in Dudley, with police believing he supplied just under half a kilo of Class A drugs. He was sentenced to 4 years, 6 months in jail. An East London pimp who was part of a UK-wide prostitution gang has been jailed for 16 months. Xinghai Zhao, 50 of Etchingham Road in Leighton, was convicted of conspiracy to control prostitution, then sentenced along with 5 other people at Preston Crown Court after an investigation by Lancashire Police uncovered a network of brothels up and down the country. Lancashire's Constabulary East Exploitation Team launched an investigation into a nationwide sexual exploitation and human trafficking in September 2022, after concerns were raised about sexual services being advertised online. As part of the operation, they executed a search warrant at a property in Blackburn, and that led to further searches and arrests at the property in Accrington, St Helens, Herefordshire and London. A number of women are now safeguarded and the gang is in prison. DS Stu Peel of the East Exploitation Team said, "The women at these brothels were treated as nothing more than a commodity without any regard for their well-being or human rights. The evidence clearly showed that these people were controlling these women for the purposes of prostitution." Lancashire Police is committed to tackling exploitation of all kinds, and today's sentences are the culmination of hard work and dedication to our officers, who continue to work proactively to put the end to modern slavery. We welcome any community intelligence that might help identify addresses where prostitution may be taking place. If you suspect suspicious activity is taking place, please let us know. We take all reports very seriously and we will investigate thoroughly. I hope these sentences send a message to the victims of sex trafficking that Lancashire Police will always support complaints and look to prosecute those bringing misery to the lives of vulnerable people. We want to offer help and advice for people who think they may be victims of human trafficking or slavery. There are a number of ways you can contact someone for help. You don't have to speak directly to the police. There are charities that can help you. You can also ring some services anonymously. You do not have to give your name or go to court or give a statement. Shai Guang Zong from St. Bees Close, St. Helens, admitted conspiracy to control prostitution and was jailed for 29 months. Hong Li Yi of Wiley Road, Accrington, was convicted of controlling prostitution and was jailed for 2 years. Xing Hei Zhao from Etcham Road, London, was convicted of conspiracy to control prostitution and jailed for 16 months. Hua Chung Zhang of No Fixed Address admitted conspiracy to control prostitution and was jailed for 12 months. Li Neng Long of Haystine Close, London Colony, St Albans, Herefordshire, admitted conspiracy to control prostitution and was jailed for 12 months. Yi Cheng Cheng of No Fixed Address was convicted of conspiracy to control prostitution and was jailed for 4 months. 3 ringleaders of a high-tech car theft racket have been jailed for nearly £500,000 worth of motors which were snatched from Staffordshire and further afield. Martin Islip, Lawson O'Neill and Anthony Stewart were charged with conspiracy to steal 22 cars across the area back in 2019, but their trial was delayed due to a coronavirus pandemic. Now they have been put behind bars after being convicted. Mr. Islip, who was 34, and Mr. O'Neill, who was 32, carried out keyless car thefts and mainly targeted Fords in Staffordshire, Warwickshire and the West Midlands. They stole cars by electronically programming blank keys, meaning they could carry out their crimes undetected and without breaking into homes. But the pair were arrested in June 2019 whilst driving a car containing a number of Ford keys, tools, gloves and items of clothing. Mr. Stewart's role was to collect and transport some of the stolen vehicles to Scotland, where he was arrested whilst driving one of the cars. West Midlands Police was able to link all 3 to Carfest in Solihull, Chelmsley Wood, Cashel Bromwich and several parts of Birmingham. Their trial finally took place in March this year. They were found guilty and sentenced on May the 12th. Mr. Islip of Wheatstone Road, Wolverhampton was given 5.5 years sentence. Mr. O'Neill of Overgreen Drive, Birmingham was given 3 years, and Mr. Stewart, 39 of Cedar Road, Glasgow, was handed an 18-month consecutive sentence in addition to an earlier sentence. A West Midlands police spokesperson said, "We do not underestimate the impact this crime has on people's lives and are working hard to bring these offenders to justice. We know the huge inconvenience of vehicle crime on your livelihoods and personal lives, which is why we are determined to take this action. With the support of the public, we can continue to tackle car crime and shut down chop shops which act as a market for car thieves. We have launched a major new operation to target serious and organised crime across the West Midlands. Operation Target sees West Midland Police take a stand against a range of serious and organised crime offences, ranging from drug dealing to burglary to cybercrime and fraud. Officers will be using local intelligence, seizing goods, carrying out warrants and targeting offenders as part of the Operation Target.